Fine, says Paro to Moshe Rabbeinu, leave. Lechuna hagvarim, the men should go, but leave the cattle here, leave the cattle behind. They say a story about a rich person, very rich, but he was very cheap, and he never wanted to give anything, any money to tzedakah. He was once very sick. He caught this deadly disease that no one ever recovered from. So he promised that if he does recover, he will give $1 million to tzedakah. It was very easy for him to promise because no one ever recovered. So why did he promise? So they'll have what to say in his funeral and be hispadim. But it didn't help him. He was actually healed. There was immediately a very big line of poor people who were standing to get their share of $1 million. What is he going to do? But he knew a little Gemara, so he looked at Sukkah Daf Mem Tes Amud Beis, and the Gemara says, Gedoyla Gvilus Chasadim Yoiser Min HaTzedakah. Gvilus Chasadim is greater than tzedakah, and therefore he decided to give an upgrade to his vow. And he announced that now the money, $1 million that he promised, instead of giving it to tzedakah, since Gvilus Chasadim is greater, that money will be used for Gvilus Chasadim. He thought it's going to help him. But you know what happened? Now the line was twice the size that is before, because the Gemara over there says in Sukkah, tzedakah is only for the poor. Gvilus Chasadim, it's for poor and for rich people. So what do you do? But then he remembered there's another reason brought in the Gemara. Tzedakah, you can only do with your money. Gvilus Chasadim you do with your money or with your body. So that is why it's greater, and therefore he announced to everybody that instead of using the money for tzedakah, instead of using the money for Gvilus Chasadim, he is now going to use his own body. He will do Gvilus Chasadim with his body because that is greater. But a lot of people started coming. He couldn't believe it. One asked him to assist his old father, walking with him in the morning. Somebody else asked him to help his sick son. The third person came and asked him to carry stuff with him, help him schlep. And the rich guy started thinking, this is why I was healed. So I will spend my entire life helping other people. There's got to be a solution. He looked into it and he said, yeah, I think there is a solution brought in that Gemara in Sukkah, Tzedaka. You can only do with people who are alive, but Gvilus Chasadim you can do with people alive or dead, and therefore he decided to volunteer to the Chevra Kadisha. This was great because nobody stood on line to get buried. This was great for him. He was able to fulfill his vow, and he stayed with all his assets. A faithful student of Paroi, one who continues Paro's legacy. From Paro we learned to say one thing, but to do something else. To promise, but always to find a way to get out of it. Lechuna hagvarim, said Paro. The men should go. The cattle you should leave behind.